Hi, it's Dom from the MS Guide. I'm making this video to talk to you about resilience. It's been a very, very hard video to make. This is the fourth time I've shot it. Because I know that we are all so different that it is impossible to say this is the magic bullet. And I don't want anybody watching this, whatever your level of ability or disability or however resilient or not resilient you feel, this is not this is what you're going to do. This is just my views, because I've had MS for 28 years and I've made my fair share of mistakes, but I also have a lot to reflect upon and think what went well, what didn't, why, how, all those kind of things. So it's super important to me that nobody watching this feels like they're being told off. Another thing that's super important to me is that you subscribe to the channel. I know it may sound silly, over half my viewers are not subscribed. And it makes a huge difference to me, because one day I would like to make it even a few shekels from YouTube, but right now not a thing, and I need to have at least 1,000 subscribers, and I'm on about 650. So anything you can do will be gratefully appreciated. I do all this off my own back, so there's no drug company or charity or anything else behind it. It's just me, because Aaron Boster, who many of you may have come across, and I was speaking one weekend and he said, you really ought to start a patient-to-patient channel, and so I did. There's much more to the story, obviously. Anyway, resilience. I had something on Monday, and today's Thursday, Remembrance Thursday, Poppy Day in the UK, that caused me to reflect on things, because I had a really close call. I mean, one of those things that you could say it was silly, but we took all the right safety gear and we ended up using it all. And the entire walk, I say walk, we went and climbed the highest mountain in the UK. It's supposed to be about a 6-hour round trip, because the UK ain't got big mountains, but it was just the biggest, so it seemed like the appropriate one to tick off. And the weather was a bit rubbish, but it turned worse and worse, and the visibility got worse. The winds were 40 miles an hour, the rain was driving. I think the technical term is it really started to suck, and we pressed on when we shouldn't have, and that was our own fault, but we did it. We summited, yay. That's the good bit for the story afterwards. But then we had a very, very long, dark, wet, slippery, cold, windy, exposed, etc. dangerous descent, at which point I broke one of my poles, and I need poles to walk, because my other big event in life was breaking my femur, which I'll tell you about in a sec. But essentially, this whole thing went absolutely rubbish. But the lesson that I took from it is being able to focus your brain on the outcome and not on all the small, crappy things that are happening. And it's just like MS. It's a metaphor for MS. MS is an extra 15 layers of crap piled on top of the usual crap that you get with life, and we all get it. It's all different, and I always think no matter how much someone's smiling, they're probably hurting inside a little bit, because they're human like the rest of us. But MS just out of nowhere goes boof, and here's all this extra crap to deal with, which means you have to be more resilient. And I think it's the most important thing for your management of your disease going forward, is being able to cope with the extra crap. You won't always get it right every time. No one ever does. But trying to build up that sort of resilience to deal with it is super, super critical for your long-term ability, because MS isn't going away anytime soon, very sadly. So everything, when it went pear-shaped, was about focusing on the outcome and not intentionally not focusing on the crappy things that are happening. I had to focus on my step-by-step progress down this mountain to try not to slip. I did a few times. I took a few falls, and I've got some spectacular bruises, and I broke my walking pole, and etc. But I was with my pal, we made it to the bottom, and even making it to the bottom was at least another hour walking out after that. And it was in dark, and we had head torches on, and we were soaked, and like I said, it was just ick. It went from kind of fun hard to not fun hard, and then dangerous hard. But it really, I keep coming back to it. It's this metaphor for MS. It's trying to put all that crappy stuff to one side. It doesn't make it go away. And the other thing I think is, we were out there, no one's coming for you. Yeah, people knew that we'd gone and that to expect us back. And when we got back, there was a lot of, oh, geez, you guys are here. We were beginning to wonder. But the weather was so bad, if somebody had hurt themselves badly, you'd never get a helicopter in there. There was no visibility. It would have meant one person leaving the other person because there's no mobile signal there, and trying to go for mountain rescue and to alert somebody and not hurting themselves on the process to go that extra bit. So like I said, it all gets a little bit but there's nobody there. And that's like MS. We all have marvelous friends, great support groups. Some people will have paid carers, but all that can stop, and you kind of got to be ready for the day that that's not all there for you. Because if you think about it, I'm dealing with crap, you're dealing with crap. I'd love to help you with yours, but if mine's got up to that level, I can't do anything else. I'm at my level, and it means that I can't help you, type thing, if you're my pal. So you're all of a sudden you're on your own. If you have a paid carer, unless they're paid to be with you 24 hours a day, which I doubt, their job ends, and they're tend to paid to care and paid to do the things. So once somebody's not being remunerated for helping you out, it's down to you. So you kind of got to be ready for it. It shouldn't be a shock and a hurt, because people will let you down even if they don't mean to themselves. Sometimes they are in a position where they can't help it other than to focus on themselves. So when it all comes down to you, you've got to find something within you. And I can tell you, and this holds for everybody, not just me, your limits are much, much further away than you may think they are. And it's really important to know that. If you use the analogy of spoons for energy with MS, I had spent my last spoon by about 6 hours, but we had 4 hours to go. So I had to dig around in the metaphorical cutlery drawer and find some more, because no one was handing them out. It wasn't anything heroic on my part. It was just realizing that you can do it, that you've got to do it, and you have little other choice. I mean, bar curling up and dying, which I don't think anybody's going to do. So they're there. I mean, I'm paying for it a few days later. I'm pretty knackered. It's 3 days later now, and I'm beginning to feel a lot more human, hence making the video. But it's just super important that you internalize the fact that it may just be down to you one day, and the people that you would like to rely on may not even be able to do it. It's not because they're being mean or they've lost interest in you. It's just the way it goes sometimes. I told you I broke my femur. That was 10 years ago. I was out cycling. You might fall off your bicycle, which I did, and you bang yourself up and break the odd bone or break the collarbone, which is the cyclist's favorite. I've done both in my time. But I broke my femur, and boy, oh boy, that's a big bone. I've got a whole heap of metal in my leg now. I was scooped off the road by ambulances, operated on for 6 hours. A bunch of metal that I'll never have to give back in my leg, so courtesy of the taxpayer. But I couldn't walk for 2 weeks, And again, people will help you out, but ultimately, if you're going to learn to walk again, it comes from in you. It doesn't come from anywhere else. And it's awful. You realize, I still can't run. I look like I'm trying to pick up sailors if I run. It's not a good look. But I do as much as I can. I walk with poles. I've never set out to get fit per se. I just do things. I happen to getting fit's the side effect of doing the things I like to do, like walking, or it used to be cycling or skiing when I was younger. So it's like this, but resilience really comes from within you, and that's what you've got to internalize. Is it's a you thing. Other people are great. They can help you. I can share my experiences with you. I can share my views with you, but I can't make you resilient. But hopefully there's something in this that you can take away. And I think that's probably a good point for me to stop banging on about resilience. Like I said, subscribe to the video. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Have a lovely day. Stay safe. Don't do as daft things as I did. And come back and see some more videos. By the way, drop your questions in there. I can ask experts. I can ask other patients. I can tackle some of them myself, but I prefer to open it up to a wider thing, especially if you're new to MS. Okay? Bye bye. Good night.